14 running backs here on the FantasyCruncher YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and leave in the comments section the running back you think will score the most fantasy points. Leave that along with your FantasyCruncher username, and we'll draw a random user to get a free week of FantasyCruncher Pro. You'll get it for free just to check it out. Easy enough. Don't have to do anything else. Just leave your name. Leave your name. You don't have to leave your name. All you gotta leave is your username and the player you think scores the most points at the running back position, and you'll be ready to roll. Who could that player be? Let's talk about it. We're going to go through the DraftKings running back pool this week. I mean, I don't know why Christian McCaffrey's price went down. Oh my God, he's immortal. He had like a human-like game, and now his price went down against a team that can't cover running backs out of the backfield. Still going to be a top option this week. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and go, don't play Christian McCaffrey. That doesn't sound like a very good plan to me. Dalvin Cook coming off that injury in Monday Night Football. He says he's going to be ready to go. I'm a little more skittish on this one. I know they need to win this game, but it didn't look very good on the sidelines. They've got a really talented back in Madison. It could turn into a split, and they want the max price. They want $9,500. I just can't get there, especially when Derrick Henry pops in next at $8,200. Tennessee has been running the football a ton. Just 149, 159, 188. And they draw a Raiders defense that's just giving it up to every running back. It was giving up to Darwin Thompson late in the game last week. Hard for me to imagine that Derrick Henry doesn't get 100 in a score here. 8,200 is a lot, but he's been getting some receiving work. Not a ton, but enough, 3 to 4 of those points in the receiving game can really help you kind of when you get over the 8K mark. So he's a beast. He's getting all the work. This isn't a timeshare or anything. Love Derrick Henry here with Christian McCaffrey. Those are the two guys at the top that I'm really wanting to get in my teams. Fournette's okay. Nick Chubb's okay. But Kareem Hunt's just killing that receiving upside for Nick Chubb. If we just look at it, the guy's just not getting any targets anymore. He caught one ball for 21, but you just can't count on that. There's just not enough ceiling here to pay this premium price. James Conner against Arizona would be a fantastic play if he's healthy. I desperately need him to play in best ball formats. So I am hoping he plays. But we'll have to see. Questionable's good. Last week at this time he was doubtful, so there's improvement. Pittsburgh's got to win these football games. And this is one they just have to have. They're 2-point favorites on the road. They just have to have this game. So I'm hoping he plays. He's a great play if he does. Alvin Kamara, they really are tempting us with this price. This is the San Fran is really good price. And they definitely are very good. But I think we're getting a bit of a discount here. He hasn't scored a touchdown. Can you believe this? Alvin Kamara hasn't scored a touchdown since week 3. He's got a touchdown in one game this season. That is absolutely nuts. I don't think that's sustainable. He's just so good of a player. Consensus top 4 pick, and I know he got hurt for a little bit, but no touchdowns since week 3? I think this San Fran defense is great, but just given the versatility out of the backfield, the full point per reception, I think you can. And the Saints are at home. If this game were in San Francisco, I'd be a little bit worried, but with the crowd noise, and it's a big game, the 49ers need this game to have any hope of winning the division. By the way, this is definitely a quick aside, but man, this is exactly what people were afraid of. San Fran, you got to take the knee in overtime in Seattle. Take that tie. They're not even going to win the division. They might be the 5 seed at this point. That's just pretty bad management. They were undefeated for forever. They were the last undefeated team, and now they're in another tough spot. I like Kamara at 7K. I think he's worth it. Aaron Jones, we talked about it last week. Will this team trust him? They just didn't trust him. 11 attempts versus that Giants defense. That's just so bad. We're back against this Washington run defense who last week we were all ready to attack with Christian McCaffrey. And, it's not like McCaffrey was terrible per play. He was averaging 3.1. It's not like he averaged 1. I think they could give Aaron Jones the ball here. They could choose not to. I like Aaron Rodgers, as I mentioned in the quarterback video. If you haven't watched it already, I would encourage you to do so. But it's just hard to trust him. Fantastic tournament play, but tough to trust. Then you get Josh Jacobs. There's a quote from John Gruden this week going, I don't care about analytics. I'm just going to give the ball to Josh Jacobs. Well, he's certainly been a man to that statement. He's been given the ball. Like, even in a game they lost by 31 points, he still got 17 carries for 101. This game flow should be a little bit better this week against Tennessee, who just gives up points to everyone at home. I think this price decrease is really nice on Josh Jacobs. I think he's a fantastic option. Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler both have tournament-winning upside. Which one hits? I don't know. But I just firmly believe this is a fantastic spot against the Jaguars. We saw Peyton Barber score 2 touchdowns. And, the Chargers are this is a game they got to have. So I think we're going to go ahead and see them definitely air it out here, both sides. I think both these guys are firmly in play. I think both have ceilings here. I think both can get to 30 fantasy points. They have that potential. I'm not saying they're going to both get to 30 together, but I definitely think one or the other can definitely get to 30. Benny Snell Jr. is kind of tough to pay this price. He's definitely been getting more of the work, but just without the reception upside on DraftKings, I just can't get there, and I'm still hoping James Conner plays. As we kind of scroll down, the options are pretty bleak. Phillip Lindsay against the Houston run defense is interesting. They gave him a bunch of work last week in that game against LA at home in Drew Lock's first start. Looked good, but he's just so splitting with Freeman. So the price is nice. The price is right. He can definitely put up a huge ceiling game here. It's possible, but Devonta Freeman against Carolina. This is their first matchup. I think it's a viable option, but Atlanta's been super pass heavy. I think you can pass against Carolina too, but I don't hate this option at 5,400. Darius Geis, last week was unowned, and he went off on 13 touches. Until we see him get into the 15 to 17 touch range, though, even at 4,900, even in this matchup, I just really can't trust him. Raheem Mostert came out of nowhere. I just can't believe, he just got hot. And Tevin Coleman went to the bench. I think it was more to do with the weather. Tevin Coleman's been fighting an ankle. It was raining in D.C. I think they probably just gave him a preventative hook. Raheem Mostert's going to be one of the biggest pickups this week. I'd be really surprised here if this wasn't a pure timeshare this week. And it's a tough Saints run defense, so don't really have a ton of interest here. As we scroll down here, Darwin Thompson was going to be a very chalky play this week. He played pretty well against the Raiders in garbage time, was going to split work with McCoy. But let me just make sure this actually happened. I saw it on the Twitter time machine. But they did. They signed Spencer Ware. He's been familiar with the Chiefs system. That could definitely turn into a 3-way timeshare. Tough for me to trust it there as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we've got Patrick Laird. He's the starting Miami running back now. It's a bad matchup against the Jets, but he's been really good in the passing game. Picked up some targets. Only averaged half a yard per carry. I don't think that really matters. I think he's going to be it here. He got the touchdown. I think he's definitely the guy over Gaskin. If they wanted to play Gaskin, they would have done it by now. Kind of was the same argument I was using against Laird. I was like, if they wanted to bench Ballage, they would have. Now the argument applies the same for Laird. Like, if they wanted to bench Laird, they could. So 4,100. Jets defense is a tough matchup, but I think he can get enough in the passing game to pay off this price. So he's the other value back I've got a ton of interest in. So again, just to kind of recap, top 5 running backs right now. Derrick Henry for me is the number 1 guy I'm considering. Christian McCaffrey. Josh Jacobs. Boy, it gets pretty ugly after that, doesn't it? There's some okay options, but there's not an option that I'm just like, oh my god, I have to have this guy. I guess Alvin Kamara probably by default checks in 4th. And then I'll go with, let's go with Austin Eckler over Melvin Gordon, but I could easily see changing my mind on that. So one of the San Diego backs, one of the LA Charger backs as well, I think is an option. But those top 4 I feel pretty good about. Oh, Patrick Laird. I forgot about Patrick Laird already. So he's definitely in that top 5 mix as well. Again, leave in the comments section your FantasyCruncher username and the running back that you think will score the most DraftKings points this week, and you'll be entered in a drawing for a free week of FantasyCruncher Pro. I'm The Siege. We'll see you next time.